very inexperienced, and this will be just a steep learning curve.
Harlequins from counties Manukau, Auckland and Northland regions. That's where they send their swimmers from. The Aquanites, as we've mentioned, they're coming from Hawke's Bay, Poverty Bay, Taranaki, Bay of Plenty and Waikato. 17 clubs are represented here for Aquanites, but at the moment it's Harlequins. Kiana Swain, 14 years of age.
Yeah, Kiana Swain, but look at the two Aquanite swimmers in lane at number 4 and lane at number 8, going to get second and third. But Kiana Swain, the young 14-year-old, doing a great job, just hanging on now.
There we just see coming into the shot, Grace Suchun, who was there or thereabouts. She'll end up in second place. Will she? Oh, there was someone finished, I think, quite close down in lane 8. That was Caitlin Steedman. We saw her earlier. She's there finished. She was in third, maybe second place. Third place she was. So it's good points there for Aquanites. The second and third behind Kiana Swain.
So Kiana Swain taking out a good victory. 105.116 with the 100 times. Just a little bit of inexperience, but she'll learn from this. She'll go back. She'll be able to look at herself on TV. She'll be able to watch her stroke. What I did like was that she still buried ahead in that last couple of strokes. Didn't breathe going into the wall. As much as a 200 butterfly would be hurting like anything, she did a really good job in that finish.
Next up, we go to the women, 16 and over, and it's their, as I mentioned earlier, do the 4 events, one after the other. At the moment, it's a 200 butterfly.
Helena Gasson in lane number 3 wearing the Joker's cap.
Oh, and she starts very well too, Helena Gasson of Harlequins. So she's up there in lane 3, but up at the top we've got Ruby Heath of All Stars, Ruby Matthews, Aquanites, then Gasson, Emily Rennell of Marcos is in 4. There's the Joker's cap, and it's on the head of Helena Gasson, and she's making it very prominent, almost a body length ahead of Elena Furlong, who's in lane 5. Caitlin Tippett is in 6, Yonsu Lee in 7, and down here is Elena Wilding of Marcos in lane 8.
Well, Helena Gasson from the North Shore Swimming Club, she is just outstanding. Last year at the National Open Championship, she won 4 gold medals. They were in the 200 and 400 individual medley and the 100 and the 200 butterfly. Of course, the 200 butterfly we're seeing here now by Helena Gasson, and she is clearly the dominant 200 butterfly in New Zealand.
Well, there was no difficulty then for the Harlequins coaching team of Igor Polyansky, Sue Chain, Thomas Ansog and Jana Wilkinson to make the choice to put the cap on, go to the Joker. Most definitely.
This is if I was coaching Helena Gasson right now as part of that team, she would be wearing the Joker's cap because we know that she's so dominant. But Yunsu Lee from lane at number 7, also from the Harlequins, she's a very talented 16-year-old and one to watch for the future. But it is Helena Gasson with all of her experience, the 21-year-old from the North Shore Swimming Club. Now she went through a 102.7, I think it was, through the first 100 metres. Turning now with a 137, so that's a 35 over the third 50.
Yonsu Lee, we can see her just turning in second place there. A bit tied up for third and fourth in the centre there. Emily Rennell and Elena Furlong. But all the way win for Helena Gasson. She's got 25 yet to go. She has the Joker's cap on. With that, she gets double points. 52 for the win for her team, the Harlequins team.
But you can see her sucking in the big breasts. If she can do a 2:13, I think she'd be very, very happy with where she is in her season. Again, the last 3 strokes without a breath whatsoever. As she touches in a 2:13, I think that's a pretty good time at this stage in the season. It is Yonsu Lee from the Harlequins, the 16-year-old in second. And in third position, representing the Marcos, is Emily Rennell.
Elena Furlong was after that. And then Ruby Heath in lane 1 for All Stars. Gosh, a big variation in height at the start there, but the best of the starts came from Helena Gasson. And it's a lead she took when she emerged. It's a lead she held through each of the turns. And what a good workout for her for the Nationals in 5 weeks' time. Harlequins first and second in the women's 200 butterfly. Marcos third, All Stars fourth and fifth. We'll stay with the 200 fly. It's a men's 15 and under. Way out on the far side in lane 1, James Raymond of Aquanites, George Smith of Harlequins, Matthew Harford of Marcos, Xavier Hill All-Stars, Hadley Dwyer, Aquanites, Jordan Wilson, Harlequins, Ben Smith of Marcos, and Richard Sass of All-Stars is in lane 8. That's Richard here on this side. Next to him is Ben Smith. You have to have a Ben Smith representing South Island. There he goes. They're all away now. The men's 15 and under, 200 metres butterfly. Good starts, and emerging out in front with the black cap is Xavier Hill of All-Stars in lane 4. To his left, to this side of him, is Aquanites Hadley Dwyer. They're at it for the moment. First of 4 lengths, men's butterfly.
Well, in this men's 15 and under 200 metres butterfly, because they're 15 and under, you're looking for swimmers that have got rhythm, flexibility, they've got evenness between their arms and their legs. They're not trying to dominate it up front through the upper body and just muscle their way through this 200 metres butterfly. For example, if we have a look at the swimmer in lane number 3, Matthew Harford from the Southern Marcos, you can see that he's just a lot more dominant through the upper body, breathing every stroke. There's not a lot of fluency through the back end of the kick versus the swimmer, the young swimmer in lane number 6, Jordan Wilson from the Parnell Club, representing the Harlequins, turning probably in first position now. I would call him a much more even butterfly, good flexibility. You can see that the hips come up and down, and you'll start to see him probably dominate over the third 50 metres because of his rhythm. I really like the way that he's keeping it together. The arms and the legs work in together. And we can see now the swimmers that were a lot more upper body work, they're just going to struggle now in the latter stages of this 200 metres butterfly. But Jordan Wilson from the Parnell Swimming Club and representing the Harlequins, turning first with 50 metres still to go.
And I think all your technical points there, Mark, have been borne out in the fact that we were concentrating earlier on the swimmer in lane, that was Matthew Harford, wasn't it, in lane 3 initially, who was leading. Looked at him and his style, and Xavier Hill, Hadley Dwyer, yes, and then we see who's taken over the lead. That was the gentleman you were talking about later on, Jordan Wilson. So we see Wilson now controlling it in the centre there, Xavier Hill, and Matthew Harford over in lane number 3 in third place. So a very good dominant performance from Jordan Wilson, picking it up in that second 100.
Yeah, definitely picked it up smoothly. Yeah. Nice and smooth, and I guess that also comes down to his flexibility, just his actual chemistry, his body makeup as well. You can see that he doesn't carry a lot of body weight. He's quite lean.
So Harlequins first, All-Stars second, Marcos then, Aquanites. So the senior points might be interesting. A few changes, I'm sure. Well, very close, isn't that? Harlequins and Marcos, only 3 points separating them. You may recall the first zonal championships we had, it was the Marcos who basically stunned everyone by winning the overall event. Harlequins leading in the senior team.
Yeah, this is interesting. I just didn't keep the points for the junior teams, but when we put that together, I think we're going to see some interesting stats.
Yep. Now into the men's 16 and over. So the Aquanites with Bradley Ashby in great shape. He'll be swimming out of lane 3. Also Cameron Vojkovic in lane 7. Those are the two Aquanites swimmers. Jeremy Tasker is up in the top. Lane 1, Marcos. Chris Smithers, All-Stars. Then Ashby. Willard Kutsier in lane 4 from Harlequins. Willie Campbell of Southern Marcos in 5. Liam Albury of All-Stars in 6. Vojkovic. And then Max Polyansky of Harlequins in lane 8.
Well, Max Poliansky in lane number 8 is really incredibly versatile. A very good in all 4 strokes, butterfly, backstroke, breaststroke, freestyle. Great man to have in these sort of competitions. I'll tell you what, an American university would just love to have Max Poliansky, because their US collegiate system is all about point scoring, and you have to be able to swim a lot of different events. Poliansky really going for it over the first 100 metres, because I would have expected Brian Ashby to be a little, Bradley Ashby to be up there a little bit more in lane number 3. But it is in lane number 8, closest to the TV, Max Poliansky from the Harlequins.
And out in the middle, we're at Kutsia is in second place, so Harlequins first and second, and getting good support from the rest of the team. It is noisy here. There's quite a lot of family spectators as well, not just other swimmers. So this is interesting, the 2 white caps. That means Harlequins 1 and 2, Poliansky and Kutsia.
Well, Poliansky's just really 57 over the first 100 metres, and now nothing separates them as they turn with 50 metres to go. Kutsia in lane at number 4, the 18-year-old versus the 19-year-old Poliansky.
Now Bradley Ashby is up on the top in the Aquanight's teal cap. He was slow away. He's finishing strongly, but it looks like it's Harlequins 1 and 2. There's certainly Poliansky down here at the bottom in lane 8. Kutsia in the middle. Ashby coming into the shot there, but unable to close the gap. In the centre here, though, Liam Albury of All Stars is finishing strongly. He'll take 4th, but it's Harlequins 1 and 2.
Yeah, that was a great last 50 metres from Kutsi, from the Harlequins team. Really timed it extremely well.
Harlequins 1 and 2, Aquanights and All Stars. Gone through the butterfly. Had some very good swims. And the likes of Helena Gasson and Max Poliansky in the seniors. Now we're coming up to backstroke. This is a women's 15 and under. No jokers cap being played here. Alicia Mitchell is way to the left of your screen, wearing the black cap of All Stars. Beside her, Aquanight's Bianca Donnelly.
So, John, you'll see a nose peg there. A lot of backstrokers do that so that they don't breathe up their nose. If you breathe up and you suck in a lot of water, particularly doing so much underwater work too, they can go 15 metres underwater. The last thing you want to do is have water going up your nose, because it's really the worst feeling.
That's Bianca Donnelly there. She's got the nose clip on. Rebecca Chain is next to her from Harlequins. Kyra Forrest from Marcos in lane 4. Macy Burns of All Stars is in lane 5. She is. Maggie Franks is alongside of her in lane 6 from Aquanights, and Kyla Alexander of Harlequins, and just down at the bottom here to the right was Emily Barron. There's Maggie Franks of Aquanights. Just waiting. This is backstroke, so it's just, as Mark mentioned, just takes a wee while to set up the new starting equipment they have. Oops, does it go up this way or up that way? I'm not too sure. Hang on, could someone get the manual? No, he's a bloke. He wouldn't read one of those. No, I'm going to work this out of it. Takes all day. Oh, no, a woman can't. And look at this. Whoa. Take it away. Disgrace to the male race. What's going on here?
So mean.
Oh,
look at Ross Bragg.
Don't you hope for all men, Mark, that this doesn't work?
Have a look at Ross Bragg in the back there,
yeah.
in the black, just checking everything out. Now, this guy has been a legend as an official in New Zealand swimming. Life member. He's just officiated at every international event there is. And he's just so willing to give up his time and effort and energy, and also to help educate others as well.
You watch though. If we go back to that, you'll find that the chap who was, yeah, look, he gets the final touch. He got the final touch. Good on you. Let's take it away. If it hadn't have been for that final touch. So these are the volunteers that, you know, swimming is one of those many sports in which it becomes parents taking kids to meets, and then they get roped into officiating, and then they stay on after the kids have gone and got kids of their own. They're still here, and it's a volunteer job, and they do a fantastic job all around the country at swimming clubs.
Well, it's a sport also that requires so many volunteers for 8 swimmers out there in the pool. You know, you have to have the start end and the turn end, huge number of officials. So this is the 15 and under 200 metres backstroke, 4 lengths of the pole.
Emily Barron, Kyra Alexander, we can see here in the white cap. Maggie Franks from Aquanites, Macy Burns and Kyra Forrest in the centre. And turning in first place is Rebecca Chain of Harlequins. So Harlequins, he did have an update on the junior points. We'll give you that soon, but the Aquanites, I think, have a slender lead over Harlequins. So if Harlequins can hang on here, they might just take over that junior competition. But gosh, the changes come all the time. That's a nice study in backstroking. We see the 2 leaders in lanes 3 and 4. That's Chain of Harlequins and Forrest of Southern Marcos. Turning, good push off, great work under the water, emerges well and into the stroke.
Well, Chain just had a better turn there. Forrest in lane number 4, Kyra Forrest from the Southern Marcos, just a multiple New Zealand age group or record holder and age group champion for the 14 years for the Marcos.
Wharenui Club, Kyra Forrest.
Yeah, very famous club, the Wharenui Club, over many, many years. In fact, if you look back, right back to the 1974 Commonwealth Games, how many Wharenui swimmers were represented New Zealand in those Commonwealth Games in Christchurch?
Are you going to give us the answer before?
Oh, I can't give you how many there were, but I mean, there's a number that spring to Mark Trepper's gold medal, Janie Parkhouse gold medal, and it goes on.
This is a very good race. This is the women's 15 and under 200 backstroke. Southern Marcos, Kyra Forrest. And alongside is Rebecca Chain of Harlequins. Into the wall they come.
So all the experience at Forrest there, all of those national age group titles, and she's taken out the 200 backstroke in a 2:19.
Aquanites in 3rd place. And Harlequins 4th.
Because as we keep going, it's, you know, we've got to look to this to the very end, because it's who finishes last versus second to last and third to last. It's all about points. Because some of these swimmers, John, they're swimming events that they don't normally swim, and they're going, oh, I don't want to do this, but it's about swimming for your team.
Well, I'll review those points for you. It's 26 points for first, so there are 8 swimmers in the pool, so 26 points for first, 21 for second, 17 for third, and 12 for fourth. So finishing in 4th place gives you 12 points. That's 14 points behind the leading team. So then you go 10 for 5th, 8 for 6th, 6 for 7th, and 4th for finishing in 8th position. So every position that you finish in gives you points. And they're aware of that, and finishing close for 8th, well, you really want to be urging yourself forward to get that 7th place, because it's an extra 2 points for the team. There's the cap, the Joker cap. Women 16 and over. It comes out of lane 4, and that belongs to Bobby Gishard of Aquanites. Alongside of her on this side was Annabelle Patterson, and then in lane 6, just surfacing now in the grey cap, was Kate Godfrey. Jenna Buchanan of All Stars down here in the green, the lime green, and then Vanessa Ubahand of Aquanites in lane 8. Up at the top, it's Gabriella Falmasili of Harlequins. Now, this is a 200-metre backstroke, though. Ebony Maikuku of Southern Marcos in 2, and Sarah O'Connor of All Stars in 3. But look here in the centre, in lane 4. It's Bobby Gishard of Aquanites, and she has the Joker's cap. She's looking for 52 points out of this.
Well, Bobby Gishard in lane number 4, she went to the World Youth Championships and she won the gold medal in the backstroke. She's a beautiful 100, 200-metre backstroke, coached so well by Noel Hargrave Booth, coached out of Hawke's Bay Poverty Bay, that's been around, I was just about to say forever, that's probably doing him disrespect, but he's in his 70s now and he's still doing an outstanding job. Bobby Gishard in lane number 4, wearing the Joker's cap.
Well, the last update we've got for you is that Harlequins are leading in both the junior and senior. But the senior, and this is a senior event we're watching now, there's, 30, 40, that's quite a big difference now. 39 plus 26, so 40, 65 points difference. But if Gishard can get up and get 52 here, plus we get Aquanites Vanessa Ubahand finishing high up, then that might really destroy that big advantage that Harlequins have.
Look, I know that Bobby Gishard is in huge training right now. She's desperately wanting to go to the Olympic Games. But coming in very nicely in lane number 5 is Annabelle Patterson. She is 17-year-old from the Harlequins team. Swims for the United Club. Igor Poliensky, of course, an Olympic Games medalist, way back as her coach, individual coach, but it is Bobby Gishard doing a great job in lane number 4, just starting to increase that stroke rate a little bit now. You can see a nice catch, very powerful under the water, head desperately still, which is so important. Kate Godfrey, also from the Southern Marcos in lane 6, is going to take out the bronze. Finishing so well over the far side of the pool is Gabrielle Fahamasili. I've been extremely critical of her in the past. She's a straight sprinter and she's been a drop dead. But that's a really encouraging sign because she doesn't swim the 200 backstroke. She's swum it for a team and she's done a really good job to come up and get 4th.
Well, that face you saw there, Bobby Gishard, we've seen a lot of her over the Nationals as she's matured from when she first appeared as at the Nationals, a real youngster making a big impact. Now at 16 years of age, as Mark said, she'll be one to watch in the Nationals as she strives to make the Olympic team for Rio. The national trials are the Open Championships at the end of March. They'll be held here at the Sir Owen Glenn National Aquatic Centre. They'll be live on Sky.
Very last week of March.
Yeah, as we see now, the Joker's cap again being used, and this comes out of lane 4. Zach Dell of Harlequins. Now these, we've got Sean Register there from All Stars. He's just 13, so he's the youngster in this group. Down here we've got Tyrone Henry. Next to him is Matthew Muley from Aquanites. Thomas Watkins of All Stars. Hunter Wilson of Marcos. Then we'll go across so we'd find Dell in lane 4. David Bowles of Aquanites is in 3. Let's see, closest to us is Henry. Up the top is Sean Register and Jackson Corkery from Southern Marcos. Under 15, 200 backstroke.
But John, I talked about the Pukekohe Club earlier on and how much improvement that they have been making. This is another protege out of the Pukekohe Club, Zach Dell in lane number 4, wearing the Joker's cap, representing the Harlequins team. A very, very strong backstroke, a national age group champion for 14 years, Zach Dell. Now 15 years of age, and he's going to take us through the first 50 metres. Going really well also in Harlequins in lane number 8 is Tyrone Henry, only 14 years of age. I've already seen him swim very well in the relay. In the very, what was it, the second event, the second relay of the championships.
David Bowles of Aquanites turned 3rd. He was in lane 3. The youngster there, Sean Register, is in lane 2. He turned in 8th place, but at 13 years of age, you think, gosh, just starting out. You can see him up 2nd from the top there He's out of the Karori Pirates Club in Wellington, coached by Steve Francis, who's here helping this All-Stars team.
So we just saw there Zach Dell as he came off the wall, a bit sloppy, you know, only a couple of dolphin kicks, really without a lot of energy in those dolphin kicks. That's something that he will need to start engaging in his training. You want to get stronger through your core. You need that core. It's so vital for the A, for the rotation of the stroke, and B, to come off the walls as well. So as we see Zach Dell, the 15-year-old, still holding on, not having it all his own way. Hunter Wilson from the Southern Marcos in lane number 5, moving up all the time, but Dell turns first. He's got a second advantage over Hunter Wilson from the Southern Marcos. I like the way Dell keeps his head still. I'd like to see a little bit more rotation, though. That bouncy, as you see his hands hitting the surface of the water, you'll see a bounce. So that means that his hands aren't going into the water cleanly. He needs to lie back a little bit more. Let his upper body just go back into the water and the lower part of the body come up. But a very strong performance.
Well, improvements to make, but that's a very classy effort there from Zach Dell, using the Joker's cap and helping the Harlequins to a handy points gather from this particular race. Harlequins' other swimmer finished in 4th place, so Henry Tyrone. He was always prominent down in lane 8. Here's the start of this. As we talked about, Zach Dell going in as a favourite, and his coaches relying on him to win this event and pick up double points in this 3rd zonal championship, supported by the Brian Perry Charitable Trust. And there we see the final result of that, with Harlequins 1st and 4th. Getting through the men's 200 metres backstroke. And now we come up to the 16 and over. There's some prominent names competing in this. In lane 1 is Andrew Jeffcoat of Aquatic. Just stretching down here is Cornel Coetzee of Harlequins. But goes Callum Prime from Harlequins in 2, William Campbell of Marcos in 3, Blake Gunn in 4 from All Stars, Jonathan Burfield Mills is in 5, Coetzee is in 6, Trembath, Andrew Trembath of Marcos in 7, and Lewis Clareburt of All Stars in 8.
So old swimmers from the past, they'll be looking at these toes out of the water. That wasn't allowed in their day. They just were not allowed. You had to have your toes under the water, and the old referees used to stand right over the top and officiate and get those toes under the water. You couldn't have that advantage because that rule has been changed.
Well, been a lot of changes, haven't there? And backstroke is one of those. It's lots and lots of changes.
It's probably the stroke that's had the biggest amount of changes altogether, both in the start and also in the turn.
Turn in particular, that's right.
The old days you used to have to touch the wall with your hand before you turn. Of course, that's now gone when you
on your
engage in, yeah, absolutely. You engage a backstroke tumble turn.
Yeah.
15 metres under the water that you're allowed to go now on every start and turn.
We're watching Coetzee of Harlequins in 6. Trembath of Marcos is close to him, just down at the bottom here. Up at the top, and the All-Stars cap is Blake Gunn.
Well, this really should be a race between Coetzee and Trembath in lane number 6 and lane number 7. Harlequins versus Southern Marcos. This is about team pride now. Trembath doing a good job, turning still in 2nd position, but only by a fraction. Drives those underwater kicks very, very effectively, very well. It was a great shot of it.
But also there for All Stars is Marcos is William Campbell in lane 3. We saw him turn in a comfortable position, looked to be in 4th place. That might be the splash we can see from him just to the right of your screen as we watch. Oh, now big effort coming in from Coetzee. He wants to drive off this wall. He wants to have the advantage, but Trembath is experienced as well. Trembath still holds as they both turn together.
Well, Trembrath is only 19, Kuzier is 21. The other Southern Marcos swimmer is William Campbell. He's in third position, but this is a real race now. Trembrath just gone early. He's pushed off the wall and he's started to increase his stroke rate. He's showing his hand. Now catch me if you can. That's what he's saying. We won the first of these, the Southern Marcos, the first of these zonal meets, and now I'm going to lay out the challenge and help my team.
The final stages of the men's 200 metres backstroke senior, and it's Andrew Trembrath. He's won this close battle with Kuzier of Harlequins. In the centre, Blake Gunn of All Stars. William Campbell of Southern Marcos as well. He finishes up fourth place, so it's Marcos 1 and 4.
No, 1 and 3, John.
Was it? I think Gunn got there from All Stars.
Sorry, he did too. Just out-touched him.
So Marcos 1 and 4, Harlequins second, All Stars third and fifth. So good points for them as well. The 200 backstroke, the 4 races completed now.